So today's playlist features all music from Black artists, whether it's the singer, the bass player, whatever, it's all different. So it's, you know, some songs are political, so just, you know, I don't know if that throws people's yoga off, just expect that today. And let's start the playlist. First, the song will start, and yes, you will hear Ice-T, it's amazing. First song, Animals as Leaders, you'll start in 3, 2, and 1. This guitar player is phenomenal. All right. So today I didn't think of like let me turn the security on so no one comes in and does something weird. Today isn't about any specific body part. I just wanted to give kind of like an all over body. It does focus a lot on the front of the body. So we are starting with our strap and then we'll have our blanket involved. So get those 2 things ready. We're gonna start by standing with the strap. Just a nice shoulder opener. So I'll wait for you to do that. So go ahead, find a nice wide, you know, hold with the strap and bring it overhead. And while you do this, I want you to drop the front of the ribs, like right underneath where your bra strap is, or guys, you know, right at the top of the ribs, just drop it. Hug the belly in, shoulders are low. When you lift the strap, try to keep the shoulders down. Nice. Try to keep the ribs lowered down and not open the chest like this as you lower the arms behind you with the strap. So you can go all the way around. Obviously don't force it if it won't go, but see if you can just get a wider grip if it won't. And we're just gonna come back and forth a few times, trying to keep the front here low and dropped, hugging the tailbone underneath. And just go back and forth, nice and slow. If it feels too easy, get your arms closer, your hands closer together on the strap. I don't know if you noticed I had been putting a lot of makeup on recently because it's just been my COVID thing. But today I was like, I have 0 fucking energy to do anything besides the yoga class. So if you're just seeing me without makeup for the first time, I'm sorry, I guess. I've got major bags under my eyes. And I'm sure a lot of you feel the same. It's just exhausting sometimes. But this yoga will be super energizing and we'll get our energy up. We're gonna stop at the top, arms lifted, and then just slowly tilt the left arm down. So right arm comes next to your right ear. Try not to open the chest here too much in terms of getting a back bend. Try to tuck the tailbone. Drop the upper ribs. Don't forget to breathe. Nice. And go ahead, switch sides. Right arm drops, left arm lifts. Take a few breaths. Lift the arms. So from here, I want you to diagonally kind of bring that left arm forward. Keep the arms far apart and twist just the shoulders. Try not to just twist from the hips. Keep the hips facing forward and see if you can just twist from the arms and the shoulders. You'll have a little bit of a twist in the ribs, but that's okay. So you should feel a nice stretch in that right shoulder. Other way, swing the right arm diagonally forward. Try to keep the hips facing forward. Take a couple breaths. All right, let's go ahead and lower the strap down. Nice job. We'll put that to the side. Let's take our blanket and we're going to fold it a bunch. So mine is about, I don't know how to measure things, like 4 inches thick maybe. And I'm gonna have it Right in the middle of my mat, I'm gonna come down onto my shins and knees and take a seat in the hero's pose on my knees and shins. Start here, keep your hands on top of your thighs, tuck your tailbone, hug your rib cage and belly in, but try not to slouch, even though that's kind of where we're going with this, but I want you to keep belly tucked in, tailbone tucked under, but the shoulders still somewhat rolling back. Close your eyes, take a few breaths. Maybe try without slouching to bring your chin down to your chest. Maybe your eyes closed, slowly moving side to side. All right. Maybe you're starting to feel the tops of the thighs start to kind of stretch out, unravel. Let's swing our left ear to left shoulder, dropping that right shoulder down even further. Breathing. This is super intense for me. Maybe it is for you too. Drop the chin down, swing the right ear to right shoulder. Left shoulder lowers. Again, hug the belly in. Keep the core in mind. Nice. From here, lift the head back up. We're going to do a half. We're going to bring that left leg forward. Keep the right knee bent. I'm going to have you come back onto your hands, elbows pointing behind you. And let's just do some little presses, pressing the hands down to the floor, letting the torso be heavy here, just letting gravity do its work by pressing the hands down. Doesn't look or feel like much at first, but then you really start to feel it in the triceps. Let's take 4 more. And nice, switch sides. Bend the left knee, right foot forward. Lean back. And let's pulse. Hands press. Breathe. I don't know how people do a million push-ups. These are hurting me already. Whew. Let's do 3 more. Let's tuck the right knee. And if you feel comfortable doing it, you can come into a full straddle or you can stay here. Maybe you remove the blanket, full straddle here. You want to drop back, you can. Maybe you start on the forearms. I know it's kind of early in class, so if you don't feel there yet, that's fine. Maybe you come all the way down. See what happens when you try to get rid of that huge back bend happening. You're not going to get rid of all of it or even like a visual amount of it, but see if you can hug the belly button in, tuck the tailbone underneath, and try to get rid of the back bend even though you won't. Act like you can. And you might feel a nice stretch across the lower spine. Take a few breaths. Nice. Slowly, let's come up. Pressing up. And you can move the blanket aside for now. From here, you're in tabletop. Move the hips side to side. Nice. And swing the feet around in front of you. Come onto your backs. Turn the music down a little bit. Perfect. Coming onto our backs, let's hug the knees into our chest. And let the knees drop over to the right side of the mat. You're looking to the left side of your mat, and then you're looking over your right shoulder towards the right side and then reaching the arm. Try not to twist from the middle or lower spine. Try to see if you can twist from the upper spine. Really pressing your chin down towards the floor on the right side. Oh, Lily's here to help. Hi, honey. so cute. Other side, draw the knees into chest, knees to the right. Start by looking to the right side, then looking over your left shoulder and reaching to the left. Take a few breaths, really pressing the chin down to the left side. Okay, swing the knees back into chest. Let's make fists. So make 2 thumbs up on each side. And the thumbs point towards the ceiling. As your fist press down, you can get rid of the thumbs up. That's just so you make sure your thumbs are pointing up. And let's have our knees at a 90-degree angle. Flexing the feet. Push my blocks to the side. Let's have the knees drop over to the right. Press into the right fist so you don't drop all the way down. Lift the knees back up. And knees drop down to the left side. Using the core, engaging the abs. I think she just made my hair look weird, but don't judge me. Hey, honey. And drop the knees left and right, side to side, as slow or as fast as you want. She always does this, right? So we're using your obliques. We're pressing the hands down firmly into the floor. The further away your knees are from your belly, the harder this gets. Maybe play with that. Let's do this for a little bit longer. Right. She sleeps on my head every night. It's so cute, isn't it? Let's do one more side to side. Nice. And hug the knees into chest. Give me a good squeeze. Now from here, I want to do a core exercise. She did ruin my hair. I'll fix it later. It's cool. So the next core exercise isn't really one of movement. It's actually really hard. It's something I just tried a couple hours ago, and I was really surprised at how hard it was. So we're just laying down on our backs. And I want you to really press into the core, press the lower back down into the floor. Lower the rib cage down. So press the lower, excuse me, they have to see a little bit. Sorry, she's distracting me a little bit. She's just too cute. Really got? Okay, that's fine. So from here, I want you to actively press the core down into the floor, press the lower spine into the floor. You can press your arms down to the floor as well. And here should be where all the work is. You're not moving. You're just on your back, engaging the core. If you can't seem to find this here, try lifting your feet, knees over hips. Then you should definitely start to feel it. Pressing the lower back down into the floor. And if you still want more work, if you don't feel it, let the knees come further away from you. So feet come further away towards the front of your mat. Stay here. Nice. The core doesn't have to be fast. You don't even have to move really to use the core. If you want to move while doing this, you can. You can tap little taps with your toes, one at a time, to the floor. Don't forget to breathe. Always forget to breathe during core. Let's hold this for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice job. Let's come up. Bring the hands behind you, knees pointing up. And we're taking reverse tabletop. Press the hands down, fingertips pointing forward, press into the feet and hands, and press the hips up. From here, we're gonna take little pulses. So the way we're gonna pulse is by squeezing the glutes. Squeezing the glutes, lifting the hips. You'll feel a little shake, that's okay. Doesn't have to be fast, it has to be controlled. You know, this isn't gonna really do much, it's gonna look silly. So let's take it nice and slow and just squeeze the glutes and inner thighs as we come up. Do a few more. Oh, she's gone, she's done with me. Nice. And one more. I know I said a few, but we'll just do one more. Hold it and lift it. Lift it higher. And come all the way down, swing the feet around. We're gonna take a nice wide knee child's pose. So when I say wide knee, I mean like wide knees. I want your knees to be as wide as the yoga mat. You can touch your toes together, arms come forward, let the forehead come down. Take a few breaths. Maybe rock back and forth on your forehead, getting a little massage. Maybe you gently move your hips side to side, just gently getting deeper into one side of the hip than the other. Nice. Come up, but keep your knees wide. I'm just gonna make my knees come back a little bit so I have more room. So your knees are nice and wide. Let's open up the feet so the toes aren't touching. They don't have to be parallel with the sides of the mat, but maybe a little closer together than the sides of the mat. Walk the hands further in front of you, just a few inches, so they're in front of the shoulders, not directly underneath. And nice and slow, I want you to press the hips down. So they're not lifted here with a back bend. You're tucking the tailbone underneath and you're pressing the hips forward. It's okay if the feet come up a little bit. Engage the core as you do this. Press the hands down. Really use your core to stay here. I don't want a back bend sensation to happen yet. Not yet, at least. Nice. I'm locking my elbows because that feels okay for me. You can also bend your elbows, but again, try not to open the chest quite yet. Take a few breaths. Let's come all the way down. Let's come onto our belly, but our knees are going to stay wide. From here, we're going to swing our left forearm in front of us. So our left fingertips are pointing to the right side of the room. Our left forearm is parallel with the front of our mat. We're going to look back over our right shoulder, take our right hand, grab the right foot, and just gently pull the foot down, heel towards the floor, elbow in the sky. It doesn't have to come all the way down here. That's just where I'm at today. Just until you feel a nice quad stretch. Take a couple breaths. You should also feel, or maybe I at least feel, a nice stretch in the shoulder as I do this as well. And switch sides. Bring the right forearm in front of you, parallel the front of the mat, pointing the fingers to the left. Left hand to left foot, dragging that left heel down to the floor, getting a nice quad stretch. Taking a few breaths. Pointing that left elbow up. Actually, while I'm here, I'm gonna take my socks off because I forgot to do that. Nice. Let's release. Hands underneath the shoulders. Then we're gonna press up a little bit for a back bend. I promised you the back bend, and we're here. Try to stay engaged in the core. I'm gonna point my toes toward the ceiling, and then I'm gonna drag my chest up to the sky. Open the shoulders, roll the shoulders down and back, draw the shoulder blades together. Nice. Come down to the belly. Let's bring the knees closer together and press up, tabletop, to downward facing dog. Press into all 10 fingers, press into all 10 toes, let the heels get heavy. Stay here to breathe. Engage the core, hug the belly in. Externally rotate the arms and elbows so the elbows aren't popping out to the sides, they're hugging in. And you're almost trying to flip the inner elbow up to the sky. Let's take 2 more big breaths here. Nice. Let's take the left foot and step it forward, coming into a lunge. We start in a runner's lunge. Let's move a little forward and back. You can straighten that left leg out as part of this little flow. Maybe you come into a nice hamstring stretch here and you stop and breathe, or you can keep moving shifting your weight forward and back. It's really up to you. We're stopping our runner's lunge and we're lowering the right knee, untucking the right toes, swinging the arms up. Not too much of a back bend here, engaging the core, tucking the tailbone underneath. Spread the fingers. Let's take that left arm and reach it back behind us, look over our left shoulder. Take the right hand on the outer left thigh and look to the left. Maybe you look back. It's not easy. Maybe you even, oh, almost fell. Grab the right side of the right thigh with the left hand. Taking a yoga class virtually is like doing a twister. Left hand to red. Let's come out of that. Tuck the back right toes. Coming up for a high lunge, crescent lunge. Swing the arms up, stay steady. I actually haven't done yoga in a few days and it feels like I've never done yoga in my life. It's so funny how taking a little break can change how strong you feel, which is humbling at the same time. Nice, let's come down. Let's take a vinyasa. Plank pose, high to low, coming out of nowhere. Inhale, upward facing, or cobra to downward facing. Let's take 3 deep breaths this day. Right foot steps forward. And again, we're starting in that runner's lunge. And then we start to flow a little bit into the hamstring stretch. My hair's caught. Really messed up my hair. Okay, she's cute all the time, so she can mess up my hair. We're coming into that runner's lunge and lifting in and out. Taking your time, staying in one pose if you want to. You feel super tight in the back of the right leg, maybe you stay and breathe. Let's take it to the runner's lunge and lower the left knee down and tuck the toes. Let's lift the arms up. Tuck the tailbone underneath, engage the core. Try not to get a back bend here. Let's reach the right arm behind us, left hand to the outer right thigh. Look to the right, maybe look behind you. I feel like most yoga poses look easy, but they are not. Poses like this look easy, but I'm sweating now. I don't know about you. Nice. Let's come down with the hands. Tuck the back left toes, crescent lunge. Strong and steady. Tuck the tailbone, drop the front of the ribs. Nice. Let's take vinyasa, high to low, starting with plank, chaturanga to upward facing or cobra to downward facing dog. Taking 2 breaths to stay in downward dog. Left foot comes forward. And we're lowering the right heel for warrior 2. Opening right arm behind you, Virabhadrasana 2. Looking around, it doesn't, every time you come into a pose doesn't mean you come into it perfectly, right? So take a moment to look around, see if you want to readjust, you want to make it more dramatic. I'm always making things more dramatic. Press into the outer right foot. Maybe check to see if that left knee isn't caving into the right. You're not losing that strength there in the outer left thigh. And maybe make sure that left knee isn't protruding over that left ankle. Just for alignment's sake. Arms are strong, fingers spread. Now from here, I want you to point the left toes in. The toes are pointed in towards each other. Let's take the arms behind us, interlace, feel the chest open, inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Arms can lift up. Look between your legs. Breathe here. Shake the head no a couple times. Slowly rise. Let's come into warrior one, facing the front of the room or front of the mat. Find a nice steady base. Your hips will never completely face forward in warrior one, but try your best. It's just the idea of them facing forward. You can always use your hands to guide the hips. I find the more I try to force my hips forward, I don't do that anymore, the more I feel kind of a weird sensation in my back knee. So don't force it. Let's take a vinyasa, high to low. Plank, chaturanga. You can also skip the chaturanga and we can all meet in downward facing. Let's bring that right foot forward immediately, coming into warrior two. Open the arms. I'm gonna switch so you can see me. You're not just looking at my backside. You can make it wider. Again, more dramatic, more strong. I feel like warrior poses are the best poses for times of, civil unrest. I don't want to make it sound like yoga is going to fix the world, but it can make you feel a little more powerful. So really channel that inner power you're feeling from this pose. Looking down your right arm, hugging the tailbone underneath, looking down toward your path. Take a couple more breaths. Often we don't stay in this pose for too long. We're used to just reversing, So let's see if we can get a little deeper even. In your warrior two, try not to get this like open chest back bend thing going here. I know it kind of looks pretty, but let's try to keep it nice and balanced by tucking that tailbone underneath and not just opening the shoulders like this, keeping it level. Nice. From here, we're gonna come into goddess pose. So you can get your feet a little bit closer together. You're gonna face the left side of your mat. And your toes are pointing away, heels are closer together. You can bring your hands to your thighs, thumbs on the inner thighs, and lean down, kind of like you're in a huddle. Maybe start shifting side to side. We're gonna dip the left shoulder and look over the right shoulder. Nice stretch across the back. I honestly love doing yoga to like really fast middle sometimes because I don't switch sides, dip the right shoulder and look over the left. Because I feel like the music replaces the speed of my thoughts. So the music is going crazy for me and my mind's just kind of like blank and it's wonderful. Nice. Let's come to center and just stay here for a few breaths. Just getting this nice deep hip opener here. Maybe gently pressing the knees away from each other. I'm not putting my hands directly on the knees, just right in front or like right above the knee. I'm not gripping with my fingers either. Right, hands come forward. Let's go high to low. Vinyasa, we'll meet in downward facing. Nice, look forward, step one foot forward than the next. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway, Dhanurasana, Uttanasana. Halfway, forward fold. Bend the knees, slowly roll to rise for 3, 2, And one, inhale, lift the arms. Hands come overhead together. Let's take the feet wide, toes away from each other, and take a seat in Malasana squat pose. Arms come in front of the shins. Take a few breaths. This feels like a really nice pose to just sit in for a while, but we don't stay too long. Let's bring the hands down, come back up. Heel to the feet a little bit closer together underneath the hips. From our forward fold, we're stepping the right foot back, not too far. So we're coming into pyramid pose. My right foot's at a 45-degree angle, facing forward and to the right. I can have my blocks underneath each hand. It's a great idea. You don't have blocks, not a big deal. Just bend that left knee a little bit more, as much as you feel comfortable. There's no need to lock the knee. You can still get a nice stretch in the hamstrings with the knee bent. So just drop the head, maybe shake it out a few times. Let's stay for 3 breaths. Nice. From here, I want you to press into that left foot, walk the hands closer to the front of your mat. I always use all of my yoga mat at the front of it. I never use the back, I feel bad. So walk the fingers in front of the left foot and start to lift that right leg up, standing split pose. Keep a bend in that left knee. Maybe you see if you can grab the left ankle with one hand or both. See if you can catch a balance. Nice, hands can come down. Bend the right knee, lower the right foot. Forward fold, bending one knee at a time. Nice, other side, left foot steps back. Pyramid pose, not too far. It's not as wide as warrior by any means. Then we're forward fold, fold it over that right leg. You can have a nice bend in that right knee. You don't have to bend it, but if you feel pain or you feel some weird sensation in that right knee, then definitely bend the knee. The head and the neck can rest. Maybe you start to sway side to side or forward and back in like a nodding. Letting go of the head. Little baby head bangs to the song. Couple more breaths in your forward fold or in your pyramid pose, folding over the right leg. Nice. From here, bend the right knee if it's not already. Press into the right foot, walk the fingers forward, and then lift the left leg into that standing split. Maybe you try to grab the ankle with one hand. Maybe you see if you can do both. See if you can hold. Nice. Lower the left knee and foot, forward fold, then one knee at a time. Nice job. Slowly rolling to rise, to stand, bend the knees. Rise for 3, for 2. Inhale for 1, reach the arms up, tailbone tucked underneath. No back bend here. Hug the belly into the spine. Drop the front of the ribs. Hands to heart center. Take a few breaths. Just a little cool down as we stand. Let's reach the arms up. From here, hug the belly in, tuck the tailbone underneath, grab the right wrist with left hand, a nice side bend over to the left. Try to keep the core engaged. Tailbone tucks. Look up at the right shoulder, right elbow. Switch sides, lift up, grab left wrist, and bend to the right. Belly hugs in, looking out to the left elbow. Reach up nice and high. Arms straighten. Belly hugs. Nice. You can lower the arms down. It's a lot of work to lift the arms up like that. Again, another one of those things in yoga, it looks easy, it's not. Let's take tree pose since it's been so long since we've taken a tree pose. And I feel like it's a great moment to just start to balance a little bit and use that strength we've been building. I tend to have a little bit of, I always fall when I'm on camera when I'm doing balance. So maybe you're like that too. So don't feel weird if you fall. Let's start by lifting one foot, doesn't matter which side. You can go on the inner thigh. You can go towards the floor. You can kickstand the foot. You can bring the hands to heart center. Now, something that yoga teachers always say, don't do or else, is lower the foot down to the inner knee. Now, actually, as long as you're not pressing the foot into the knee, if you're just kind of resting it there, it's not going to hurt you. Of course, there are exceptions if you have a knee injury, maybe don't put any pressure on the knee. It's always good to challenge something you're told all the time, even by someone that is a teacher. Nice. Switch sides, other foot. Find your moment of balance. I'm just a natural rebel, so I always do the thing I'm told not to do anyways. There's so many things in yoga that you shouldn't do, including listen to metal, which obviously we don't follow that rule. So, question what your teacher tells you. Let's hold for a few more breaths. If you're looking for more info on like body mechanics for yogis, definitely check out Bernie Clark. He is like a big name in yin yoga, but he also writes a lot of books about anatomy and yoga anatomy, and it's amazing. Check out him. And let's lower it down. We're gonna come down onto our backs. And we're coming into bridge, big surprise if you know me, right? Press the hips up. But this time I don't want a huge back bend here. It's obviously gonna be a little bit of a back bend, but I want to use it more in the quads. So hug the tailbone underneath, press the hips up, and drop the front of the ribs. Hug the belly in. So you should feel a nice stretch across the front of the hips and the quads. I'm definitely working a lot in my quads as well. I'm not even lifted very high. Press a little higher, squeeze the glutes. Let's hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice and slow, lower the hips down. This is your opportunity to take a wheel if you'd like. So I know we've been doing a lot of don't do back bends, but we have been practicing a little bit of back bends. So you won't be totally unable if you normally can do wheel. And if you don't want to do wheel, and wheel is this one when you press up into your back bend. If you don't want to come into your wheel, taking another bridge is a great option. If you want to come into that back bend version by sliding the shoulders underneath, maybe you like to interlace the hands underneath your bridge. Draw the shoulder blades together. Wherever you are, see if you can hold for 2 more breaths. Nice. Let's lower it all the way down. Hug knees into chest. Give them a nice squeeze. As we cool off, let's take a lying figure 4, crossing the right foot over left thigh. Hugging underneath that left thigh. Flexing both feet. Noticing how tight you are here. It's like I've never done a hip opener before today. Take a few breaths. Switch sides. Interlace the hands, flexing both feet. Maybe rocking a little side to side. Okay. For our last and final pose, it will be happy baby, which I know can be cliche, and I say that a lot. But if you have blocks and or a blanket, you need at least 2 of those things, unless you want to just do it the regular way. If you only have 1 of those things, that's fine. You can just do the regular happy baby. But I have 2 blocks. I'm going to use my 2 blocks. I'm going to put them off the mat to either side of my hips, maybe a little bit up closer to my head. You can adjust when you come into the pose. So coming into my happy baby, oh, it's way higher. I need to put it up. So I'm going to put my blocks underneath where my thighs are. So maybe you start half happy baby and you lower down one of the legs with the knee bent, foot to the floor. If your upper thigh right before the knee can't quite make it to the block or the blanket, I want you to press the upper thigh, or I guess the lower thigh, really depends on where you put your block. But the front of the thigh pressing down into your prop, flexing the foot so it faces the ceiling, and drawing the knee down. So it's an active stretch. I'm going to have my left foot to the floor. You can do either side. I'm going to press my other foot that's not being used for the happy baby on my other thigh. Feels really nice on my lower back too. Take the other side. So I'm doing half each at a time just because it feels a little bit nicer right now, but you can do the full both sides with props on either side and just stay for double the amount of time. So my other foot's down. I'm grabbing my left foot with the foot flexed up towards the ceiling and pressing with my hand, grabbing my foot and pressing the thigh into the prop. If you feel pain, then take it easy a little bit. Maybe switch the block so it's a little bit taller, so it makes an easier contact with the thigh. Take a few breaths. Nice. Now, if you are doing half with me, let's take a full one together. Taking 3 more breaths. Nice, let's release down. And before you come all the way down, I don't know if this song is the Shavasana song, so I'm gonna make sure it is. So you can go ahead and just come to the last song if it's not on there already. It is not. I've never put an Alice in Chains song in my class, but I did today. I don't hate it. Ironically, it's a suicidal tendencies, excuse me, song for Shavasana. But metal will surprise you like that. It'll just come out with like a really nice, relaxing song with a really different name that doesn't seem like it would be relaxing. You can use your blanket here. Always feels nice to tuck yourself in for the final resting pose. Take a big breath in. Audible sigh out. Excuse me, I'm sorry I just sneezed in all of your ears. So to relax, letting your natural breath enter your practice here. Relaxing the shoulders. Imagine like your thoughts or your worries, or like, you know, maybe like your shower when you watch the water run down. Maybe it gets a little bit clogged, but then the water starts to release. Just to run down the pipes. Every thought dripping away, releasing from your mind. Take a few breaths. Thinking about, I don't think this was my Shavasana choice, but it's really all in the mindset when you consider Shavasana music. Sometimes high energy music makes me feel a little bit restful. It's doing the work for me. Slowly roll to the side. Take your time, and you can meet up into a seat. Pause my music. Let's all inhale with the arms up overhead. Then hands can come down our heart center. Taking a moment to enjoy the stillness. Take a moment to feel gratitude. Gratitude for your health, for your body, for your mind. Feel a grand sense of compassion for every other person today. Just not everyone is deserving of all of your compassion. Let's give a little bit to everybody. The light and dark in me loves and honors the light and dark in you. Namaste. Oh. Thanks so much for coming. I hope you enjoyed the playlist. It's hard for me to hear it because I can't have it be played in the earbuds at all. So I hope that you liked it. I hope it went well with the flow. Let's see. I think the last time I will have the store completely closed will probably be like Sunday, and then Monday I'll reopen it. That might change. So yeah, I don't really have much to tell you other than that. June 13th is our Pride class, collaborating with Harpoon. That'll be a Saturday morning for an hour, 11 to 12 Eastern time. And the donations for that, 50% of donations will go to Youth on Fire, which is a project in Cambridge from AIDS Action. It's a youth center for youth, for homeless youth, people in difficult circumstances, youth in difficult circumstances. So yeah, can't wait for that. And Harpoon will be selling things on their website. You can buy like certain beers and they'll donate, a certain dollar amount to Boston Pride. So that's great. And yeah, I think that's everything. I will see you guys on tomorrow for Haley's class, Metal Barre, and then I'll see you Sunday for some metal yoga.